All right, I want to take a look at the 6 trig functions from a little bit different point of view. I'm going to do it kinesthetically, that is with motion. One of the things that I do when I'm visualizing this is I have this triangle that sits out in front of me. Now I can see it very clearly. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. It's this triangle right here. It sits there, and I can just look at it and grab the sides that I need. Maybe you can see it. Some people are better at visualizing than others, but it sits right out there. The angle that I'm going to be talking about is the angle that's right down here. This is the angle. Its side opposite is over there. So the angle that I want is on the left, and the right angle here is over on the right. I wonder if maybe that's why it's called a right angle. Oh. So the opposite side to the angle is over there. The adjacent side is on the bottom. The hypotenuse, of course, is this one here. Okay. So hopefully you can see that triangle, opposite side, hypotenuse, adjacent. This is the angle that I'm talking about. Okay. So when I think the sine of the angle, I'm thinking the opposite over the hypotenuse. I literally don't think the words opposite over hypotenuse. For me, the sine is I grab the two sides I need in the order that I'm going to make the fraction, numerator, denominator. I apologize to anyone from China, because my understanding is in China they say the denominators first. When I would say 3 over 4, they would say 4 under 3. So I'm going with the way I think of fractions, numerator and the denominator. So sine, opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent, opposite over adjacent. Literally, I have the two sides before I've even thought of what the names are. I come back afterwards and say, oh yeah, that's the opposite, that's the adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. Cotangent, adjacent over opposite. Secant, hypotenuse over adjacent. Cosecant, hypotenuse over opposite. I got the side, I couldn't remember its name. Hypotenuse over opposite, right? 6 trig functions: sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, cosecant. No, that was the secant, and this is the cosecant. Right? If I want the 6 trig functions of this other angle, well, really what I would do is I'd take that other angle, flip the whole triangle over. I don't know if you can see this happening, but it's happening right out in front of me. I can visualize it happening, and that triangle flips right over, and so that this angle now is the one that's sitting over here on the left with the triangle on the right, and it's still opposite over hypotenuse for the sine, opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent, opposite over adjacent, and so on. Cotangent, secant, cosecant. I got those things. Now, sometimes I do this not by waving my finger, but I do it with my arms. I'm still picturing a triangle out here. So the angle's down here, this thing down here in what I would call standard position, but we'll talk about what standard position is later. But there's the angle. The adjacent side's down here on the bottom. The hypotenuse is the diagonal there, and then the opposite side is this one over here. Okay. So when I think about the sine, I want the opposite over the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. Cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent, opposite over adjacent. Cotangent, adjacent over opposite. Secant, hypotenuse over adjacent, and the cosecant, hypotenuse over whatever the name of that side is. Opposite. There we go. Right. So I've got those sides, and I just grab the ones I want. That was cosecant. Okay, here we go. Sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. Grab the side you want. Either do it with your triangle, with your finger out here, or grab those sides. Right? Very kinesthetic. It's get your exercise while you're doing your trig at the same time. So anyway, some people learn different ways. There's a way of waving your arms around and thinking about the trig functions. One more thing I want to say before I click the off button. One of the reasons why I think this way is because of an assignment that was given to me very early on in my trig career. It's the assignment I'm giving to you. It's called the 6 trig functions, or the triangle assignment, and the discussion afterwards. It's coming up on a couple of pages later here. Make sure you do that assignment, all of it, and participate in the discussion. Thanks.